The argument is whether the child should make the decision.
But the child is never making the decision. The parents are always making the decision. Parents consent to medical care.
Well, here in California, you're allowed to hide it from the parents if the kid is.
Yes.
Thank you, one person who knows that.
Bill Maher brought on Chris Hayes from MSNBC to absolutely torch him live on Real Time with Bill Maher. You know things are getting bad out there whenever Bill Maher is bringing on woke TV hosts onto his show and absolutely having to destroy them instead of just have a slurp fest like they normally do when it comes to, you know, Real Time with Bill Maher or The View, and they bring on somebody woke and they just say, yeah, isn't that Donald Trump guy so terrible? Ha ha ha. The whole time. Now it's Bill Maher actually going after these people. You know, we saw the clip of Bill Maher going after Gavin Newsom and really pushing back and cornering him on multiple different topics. Now Bill Maher is just going off on this woke idiot here, Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Let's get into this clip here where Bill Maher absolutely torches Chris Hayes from MSNBC live on Real Time with Bill Maher.
But I also think at the same time, there is a message of what I would call like common sense, patriotic pluralism. Yeah. That is a majority message, which is like, if some father and mother have health care for their kid lined up who's trans, just stay the fuck out of their business. Like, and let them make that decision. That's their decision to make. And you don't have to make that for your family. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your family.
But the argument is whether the child should make the decision.
But the child is never making the decision. The parents are always making the decision. Parents consent to medical care.
Well, here in California, you're allowed to hide it from the parents if the kid is.
Yes.
Thank you, one person who knows that.
But I mean,
somebody knows that is the case.
I think in the vast majority, and we've been hearing from parents right now whose kids' medical care has been interrupted. I think there's a way to talk about.
Well, of course, they would say it's not medical care. They would say it's
what they're saying.
Disfiguring a child.
I think they should mind their own business. I really do. I think they should mind their own business. And I think that's true about a lot of things. I think there is this sense in which there was this sort of backlash politics, some of which I understood, some of which people I know felt that way. I don't think what people wanted was for the women CIA agents at the CIA to be told that they can't get together once a month to like celebrate former women spies. I just don't. I think like fundamental parts of what we call in this country the traditions of pluralism, which is what this country is, and pluralism is another.
What is this guy even talking about, dude? This is so tiring. It's so tiring. I'm so tired of hearing this nonsense. What is this guy talking about? Was there CIA agents that wanted to get together? Women CIA agents wanted to get together to celebrate former women CIA agents? Can you imagine if men did that? How stupid and how much they would get made fun of. Hey guys, do you want to have a gathering where we celebrate former male, I don't know, football players? I guess there's only male football players, but like former male anything? Like what do you, former male bricklayers or carpenters or something like that? It sounds so ridiculous. It's so gay. Like that's so lame. What are you talking about? But it's like, it's so protected whenever it's women doing it. But if you could imagine men doing it, everybody would just be like, what the hell are you doing? It's so weird. What is it? So maybe I'm even misreading it, like what this guy is even saying, because I'm so confused.
Another word for diversity. If we're not going to use that one, let's use pluralism. That fundamentally there's a majority that understands that like we all come from different places. Yeah. And part of what makes this country work is we acknowledge and we negotiate those differences. And that's a thing that I think Democrats can win back a majority of messaging.
Yeah, if you say so, man. I'm so confused. I like how at the beginning Bill Maher is like, yeah, but people just don't want like disgusting things being taught to their kids in school. And then the audience applauds. And at the end, this guy, Chris Hayes, is like, I think the Democrats can win back the audience by pushing diversity and inclusion and DEI and stuff like that. It's like, buddy, that's exactly what the Democrats just got annihilated on in the last election, in the 2024 election. That's what they lost on, because you're pushing all that nonsense. And there's people out there like Bill Maher and like Anna Kasparian and like these people who are trying to say, now the Democrats have gone too far in multiple different areas. Maybe they should like take a step back and start doing and pushing ideas and policies that are actually popular with the American people. And it's people like Chris Hayes going on Real Time with Bill Maher, and they're just like, no, let's just double and triple down on the nonsense that got us annihilated in the last election. That's why they're going to continue to lose until somebody comes into the Democrat Party and they're like, no, we're switching this thing up. We're mixing it up and we're going to be actual populists. We're going to do what Donald Trump did, but a left-wing version of it. Then they're going to lose. they're going to lose. Unless the right wing, unless the Republicans elect a horrible candidate, they're going to lose because of people like Chris Hayes right there. We also have this clip, though, from the same episode of Real Time with Bill Maher that was very interesting as well that I want to show you.
What do you think of the Trump? What do you think of the Trump White House admitting more influencers and podcasters into the press corps? Yeah, the press room is different. I mean, it reflects America.
I think it's great.
Yeah, you do.
But it's mostly right-wing influencers and podcasters, obviously, but I think it's a good step. I mean, this is how people are getting their news.
It is. I mean, how can you deny it?
I was actually over there the other day, and it's packed in there. And I think even all the reporters, whether you're Legacy or the podcasting people, they're all happy. And then they have like the one rotating chair, which I guess is pretty cool. So there's always like somebody new that comes in.
So this is you're at the White House, you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was Axios that they gave the new media seat to, and that is to Mike Allen, who is like an established reporter in Washington. Axios has been around for like 5 years, sold for $500 million. I don't really consider it new media, and I thought it was interesting that was their first new media.
It is new media because old media sells for $1.
That is true.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that's what Bezos bought the Washington Post for. He bought it for like $1, didn't he? So, you know, the new stuff.
That's because he's worth like $500 billion. So it was, yeah.
It's all relative.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
But I'm interested in this. You're at the White House. What were you just hanging around?
I know some people over there, you know.
No, I'm asking. You're like, you have that kind of carte blanche. You can just walk.
No. I was there for, I think it was an education event that the president did. And a lot of the staff I know from the campaign trail.
Right.
So walking in there, it was like I was on the campaign trail. So everybody's just saying hello, hugging. Let me show you my office. So I was kind of walking around. Got a chance to see the press room. They go, stand at the podium. I'm like, no. I'm not going to do that.
Give them 4 more years, right?
Well, then maybe you can answer this one. Has Mar-a-Lago culture, it's actually addressed to you, come to D.C.? Are the cruel kids popular?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the aesthetic of Mar-a-Lago and the people around Donald Trump, they haven't even just changed D.C., they changed Palm Beach. It's like the long platinum blonde hair, the big eyelashes, the buccal fat removal, the lip filler. They look like Kristi Noem or, I don't know.
Sounds like Hollywood.
Glamour Trump. Yeah, it's a look. It's very...
By the way, I think it's a genius idea of Donald Trump and his administration to have a seat for new media. I don't necessarily know if Axios is the new media that he's going for, but it's just so funny to watch Donald Trump and Republicans beat Democrats at their own game because Democrats, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, they tried so hard to do exactly what Donald Trump did. They tried so hard. They paid off Harry Sisson and Dean Withers and those weirdos, and they tried to get them to like capture the young audience, whereas Donald Trump is actually willing to go on podcasts and live streams with Aiden Ross and those types of people and go on Joe Rogan, whereas Kamala Harris is too scared to do it. She would never go on a live stream. Are you kidding me? The terms that she gave Joe Rogan, the terms that she gave the Call Her Daddy podcast, like imagine that's the one podcast you go on. It's called Call Her Daddy. You're a presidential candidate and you go on a podcast called Call Her Daddy. And she gave both of them just insane terms for the podcast. She had to have full editorial control. They had to build out the set so that Kamala Harris could look the best that she possibly can look, all that stuff. And Donald Trump is just going on podcasts and live streams of anybody and everybody. You know, I think Barron Trump was probably telling him where to go, to be honest. Like, I know that's a rumor, but I think it's probably true. It makes complete sense. So it was cool to watch Donald Trump beat the Democrats at their own game with capturing the youth vote. Like he did. He really took over the young culture. He took over like TikTok culture, Gen Z. And now he's doing it even while he's in office, while we're putting that rotating chair in the press room for new media. Like I said, I don't know if Axios is necessarily new media. I guess you could technicality your way into thinking that it is new media, but I would like for him to give some like political commentators on YouTube. I'm not saying me. I'm good. I don't want to do that, but I'm saying, you know, some of my friends who could, you know, do a pretty good job at that, I think. So I would throw some political commentators from YouTube and, you know, some TikTok people on the right wing and stuff like that. Throw them in there instead of, you know, large media outlets. I don't know if you have to have certain credentials to even be allowed in, if that's a law or whatever, but I do think it's a good idea. And like I said, it's awesome to just watch the Democrats get beat at their own game by Donald Trump.
Kim Guilfoyle, and actually actually in Palm Beach, they're calling it like the Mar-a-Lago look, and they're asking plastic surgeons for it. It's only a matter of time before it comes to DC, and everybody's looking like that in tight red dresses, you know.
I'm getting excited.
The blazer will be gone.
Byron, can you get me in?
Listen, I'll talk.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Maher's joking about it, saying he's excited, but it is good to see. You know, I like that people are caring about the way that they look again. That's pretty sick. In comparison to Kamala Harris's family and her daughter, like literally has, you know, the short, disgusting, greasy hair with armpit hair that oh God, it's so disgusting, man. And then you compare that to the Trump family, and they're all, you know, they care about the way that they look. You know, they're actually well groomed. They don't have women with armpit hair just flaunting it in front of the camera and greasy ass hair and stuff like that. So I like that that's becoming cool again. That's awesome. I enjoy not having to be disgusted at the people that I'm walking around when I'm going to the gym or going out to eat. I like that. I don't like, I don't want to go too hard on these people, but it's getting out of hand, the way people smell and the way that they look. It's pretty disgusting. So they're joking about it. Bill Maher's joking about it, saying he's excited. I genuinely am excited. That's great. I like that the culture is shifting in that direction. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think about. Mostly what I wanted to make this video about is Bill Maher calling out Chris Hayes there live in that, and then the audience also applauding Bill Maher and supporting him against the woke Chris Hayes. And let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole Bill Maher versus Chris Hayes situation.